Come on, Twitter. Cooperate with me now. Twitter really is not liking having to do things. There you are, Twitter. All right. The people have been informed that the stream is ongoing. And I'm eating cashews. Because I know there's someone out there who asked. Is there some kind of timer on Twitch that will tell you when it's going to run an ad? Like, obviously there are pre-roll ads. But I don't know that I've ever actually managed to notice any kind of information that, like, hey, by the way, people can't see what you're saying right now. You'd think that that would be a pretty basic feature, but maybe not. Well. There. Now I'm not just staring at the floor. Now my beady eyes are peering right into your soul. Way better. Hi there, Halo TV. Hello, Wolfina Shorts. Hello, plumbing, elevators, hand dryers, and more of Florida. That's amazing. They've even got as their... I love that they have as their profile picture a toilet bowl. That's so on brand. Beautiful. Hello, Blip Blob. Hello, King Julian. Hello, the Better J. Hello, Annoyed Gremlin. Hopefully not too annoyed. Hi, AG9245. Hi, Sai. Hi, the Better... Oh, wait, we already said the Better J. I don't have to respond to you. I already said hi once now. Got midterms next week and I'm watching. Midterms next week? This is midterm? This is like finals for a lot of schools. What kind of schedule are you at? Hello, Abyss. How was Big Run? It was apparently really good for high scores. Like, a lot of teams were able to do pretty well in the overfishing community. I saw that Brian and his crew had a 268. I got to gold rewards and not much higher. And, I mean, I'm happy with that, except that turned into bronze rewards when the glitch happened, and still haven't actually gotten what I'm supposed to be getting for it. It's a very odd error. Hi everyone, I am busy with finals. See? I knew there was someone there. Welcome, Mentasis. Mentasis. I'm gonna go with Mentasis. That's my attempt. Feel free to correct me if I am wrong. I would like to get people's names right. And Devi with the resub. I didn't see that before. Oh, because I don't have my headphones on, and so I wouldn't hear it. That would be why. Okay. The headphones are on now, and so now I won't miss it when things like that happen. Thank you so much for the sub, Devi. Devi W. Pom Pom. And hello, the Loopy Jackal. And Cosmic Nova, hello. Hello, Harubani. Hello, Rishav. Hi, Anorak. What a perfect time to take a break from studying for finals. To go to school. Aha! Hope I never have to write a final exam again in my life. What, are you a senior? Because if not, then I've got bad news for you. I am not busy with finals because I already graduated. See, that's the cheat code. You don't have to do it if you already did it. Easy. That's enough cashews for the time being. Hi, Shay. Recovering from a cold. Well, sorry about the cold, but I'm glad you're doing better. Hi, M. Janky. I am not busy with finals. I do, however, need to work tomorrow, which is quite a silly thing. What's silly about it? I'm curious. Hi, Dashriel. Hi, Sietza. Hi, Stupid Edit Central. How's the cat? Kitty's doing just fine. He's snoozing over to my right now. Got an argument about cashews. Two finals on the same day, and then an exam the next day in the afternoon, but we vibe. Yeah. Like, finals, if you've really learned the stuff in a useful way throughout the year, and if you've been doing your work leading up to it, finals are often not that difficult. Like, there's probably some stuff that you have to refresh yourself on because it happened like way earlier in the year, but like, it's not like you're having to learn everything again from scratch. It's more like you're just reminding yourself like, oh yeah, I remember how that works now. So, Jesus, thank you, Ram. Holy crap. That time of the year again? Finals, you mean? Well, thank you so much. That's really kind of you. Hi, Robin. Hello, Enigmagus? Enigmagic. Got it. Listening to you be sympathetic and logical is very healing after dealing with people who are... Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you to say, and I'm also sorry that you have to deal with the opposite of that. We're still working on humanity. It's a work in progress, you know? We're getting there, but sometimes we swing and we miss. Sometimes we are not as nice as we should probably be. Hello, Jamie. Hello, Kit Kat. Kit Kat Katrina. I think it's more fun to say the whole thing. Kit Kat Katrina all the way through. Ran into you in open and you destroyed me yesterday. GG's. GG's. In open. When was I playing open? I'm trying to remember what that was from. Because we didn't have team practice that day. Maybe I was just recording for a video. It is I, the Jamie. Hi, Venomous. Hi, Red Jacket. Hi, Carl. Hi, Kaiko Rosie. Hi, Mr. Gem Squid School. A friend has been feeling pretty bad lately, but they felt better when I showed them you petting Romeo in the latest video. I humbly request more such Romeo content. I'll keep that in mind. I was worried that, like, people were going to look at that like, he's just padding out the video so he gets more watch hours or something. This is so lazy. But then everyone was just like, nope, I'm here for the cat. Yeah. He's very good. I like him. He's very dumb. And there are a lot of things he does that are kind of problematic for him. I worry a lot about how he would bully the cats that he lived with before. Because I'm like, man, what if I ever have to move in with someone who has a cat? I don't know how that's going to go with him. But for the time being, we vibe. Then thank you so much for the resub, Rissa. Happy Tuesday, Gem. Bacchus, is that an emote that I just am not seeing because I'm on the wrong... I'm very confused what I'm looking at. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So it's an uwu. Oh, because that's the first 6 characters of the username of the person who came up with the emote. Got it. Well, thank you, Rissa. So midterm's not the end of the word for the end of the first semester? Finals for the end of the second semester? At my school, we had a midterm that was... Because, like, a lot of the classes were just 1 semester long. And so midterm for them was sometime in, like, October. And then the final for everything would be in December. And then you'd have finals again in May or whatever. Appreciate your video on the splat screen. I hadn't realized it was a problem for people. Now I'm a bit more informed. I'm glad. That Twitter thread that's in the description of that video was eye-opening for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people. I'm really glad that Chara had the foresight to collect that information and get it all in one place for people. Good luck on your exam, Jamie. Hi, Rat Mustard. Welcome to stream. I'm glad you were able to make it this time. And hello, Wanda Megapon. I was about to say that this was a targeted stream name. Yeah, I mean, the main reason that it, like, I named it that is that we... Oh my god, I'm already, like, 10 minutes behind on chat. The reason that we named it Everyone's Busy with Finals Edition is that we don't actually have a VOD review today. So that's what's going on. And hi, Lettuce. Hi, Ferris Hills. Hi, Jojo. Getting you on tangents today? Maybe. Finals week is next week, but that does not stop the professors from having finals this week regardless. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's like, well, maybe we just have the test a week early, and then your finals are spread out, and also, I get to go home early. I get to stop working early. A lot of professors have that sort of thing in mind. Hello, Cornmills. Hi, Jayla. Been working... oh, and Ferris says, found your videos recently. I've been playing since Splat 1 just recently after watching. Been getting better at the game, so I wanted to say thanks. Well, you're welcome. I'm glad you've been finding them helpful. Hi, Jayla. I've been busy with work or sleeping to prepare for work, so I have been away from streams for a bit. Understandable. I'm sorry work is so busy for you. Hi, Northern Druid. I'd expect it to vary whether or not end of fall semester tests are considered the same level as end of year tests. Yeah. I think especially like the bigger the university gets, the less standardized it has to be, because you get to a point where like people are on weird irregular schedules or something like that, and now it's like, well, when is final really? Because some people are graduating in the spring, some people are graduating in the summer, some people are graduating in the fall. Like, who knows? I'm getting bit by a fluffy cat while trying to play Splatoon. Sounds lovely. And hi, Floyd GF. Hi, Melody. Hi, Axiom Ace. Tron, how should I deal with internalized tilt? So, I trust what you're talking about is like tilting because you're getting down on yourself as opposed to tilting because you're getting mad at other people. That's kind of how I think about it. But if you're defining it differently, then obviously, you know, we can talk about that instead. But, and you know, that'll happen in like 15 minutes because that's probably how far behind I'll be by the time I'm done explaining things. This is the type that I don't have, right? I get mad at other people when I tilt. So it's more what I've learned from others. But part of it is knowing your goals, knowing what you care about, knowing what's healthy for you, and just not caring so much about the video game that you get worse at the video game for it, essentially. Like, literally just care less is actually a pretty good answer to that question. Another part of it is to be fair to yourself by challenging your negative self-talk with, okay, could I really realistically have done something about that? Could I really realistically, you know, have done better if X teammate had done this for me, you know? Like, who was really most responsible for that going wrong? Because a tendency might be to blame yourself for things that aren't as much your fault. Even if something is totally your fault, you also have to be able to give yourself some grace because that's a part of learning. And, like, you are still making progress even if you screw up. All right, we're scrolling. What's your thoughts on the finals, as in the video game? I don't actually know that video game. I'm going to Google that real quick. First-person shooter. I have not heard of this at all. So there's your answer. I don't know anything about it at all. So if there are no VOD reviewees, what is Jim going to do? Go off on tangents. Get way behind on trying to read chat. Finishing up the workday on broken computers and winding down on some Squid school. Welcome. I have finals this week, only one, but maybe my whole class will have to repeat because we were horribly confused the whole way through. Oh, no. Yeah, college can get rough like that. Typically, that sort of thing doesn't happen in, like, high school, but that can definitely happen in college. Thank you so much for the Prime subscription, Danny Boy Vivo. Appreciate it. Humanity is the Dark Souls of life. Maybe? I have to think about that. Just gonna chill out and talk. For a bit, yeah, probably. I don't know, I might... For all I know, this stream is going to become a gameplay stream. For all I know, we're gonna VOD review something. For all I know, it's going to become a dating advice stream. Like, it's just kind of like whatever people are feeling. I'm vibing. Hello, Agent 80808, and hello, Crispy Toast. Slayer candidate. I have played Splatoon casually since Wii U, only recently got Split 3, and I'm level 20. I've only played Turf War, but I came across your channel on YouTube, and I really appreciate your content. Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad you find it helpful. Ranked is not as scary as it seems, by the way. You can totally do it. Anyway. Romeo's little meows gave me so much dopamine at 9:30 a.m. I'm glad you liked it. Reject squid, return to cat. Romeo Pats gives happy brain chemicals. Excellent, excellent. Very good. Hello, Sprout person. Let's see, how caught up are... Oh, we've made it to 7 minutes behind. We're getting better. Thank you for the splat screen video and getting me into Sendoku. Yeah, of course. Do we get to play open and review ourselves? I guess we kind of could. I mean, here's the thing, Devi. The very first thing that I'm going to say, and probably the thing that is going to be the theme of any open session between me, you, and Jamie, if we're really taking it seriously, is we need a different comp. It's just always gonna. It's like somebody is either going to be on weapons that they don't want to play, or we're going to be on a comp that we don't want to play. That's the problem with us, because our weapon pools just overlap too much. Do you think Big Bubbler will be used less because of triple splashdown and its object damage? I don't see triple splashdown being used a ton at top level. So while, yeah, like, there is that counter to it, I don't know that counter is going to be super sought after. I'm not seeing people run it. Hello, Ink Raiders Island. Welcome, welcome. Decorating your Christmas tree tonight? I looked around like, I guess I don't have one of those, huh? Well, have fun with that. I only play Turf War. What abilities do you recommend outside of a ranked environment? What I would honestly recommend with abilities is hoard them for now. Do not worry in the slightest about them. They are not what matters the most by any stretch of the imagination. And you will not know what you're doing with them until you are much, much better at the video game. You won't even have the ability to make the gear you want anyway until you're much better. And by the time you're much better, your knowledge of the game will have increased dramatically. I wouldn't even worry about it until you're trying to push for, like, SS plus rank or something like that. And then maybe start poking around and looking at what people actually run on stuff. And until then, just kind of don't spend too much. Just go with whatever the game gives you and let it rock. That's my honest thought on the subject. There are some weapons where it's like, yeah, you might want to run Ninja Squid. There's some weapons where it's like, yeah, you might want to run like Comeback or LDE. But beyond that, you know, make sure you got a couple of subs of quick super jump. That's probably important too. And otherwise, don't think too hard about it. Cat tried to eat my painting, and then your painting? Ew, that wouldn't have been good. And then your leg? Understandable. You are probably pretty tasty, I would imagine, to a cat, you know? I definitely think if I were smaller that Romeo would just eat me. I've believed this for a long time. Been learning how to crochet over the past few years, and it's going better than expected. Cool. Scrolling. Hello, OTOD tag. Just vibing here in break during my game design university course. Have fun. Awesome. Thank you. Hello, CC2255TT. I have no earthly idea how you expect someone to pronounce that unless I'm supposed to read every single character of it out. And if that's the case, then that's long. Get mad at game, take it out on a controller. Definitely at that point, you want to recognize that, like, I'll definitely tilt sometimes, but my tilt never rises to the level that I am damaging my equipment. And so if that's become a pattern, if that's become a habit, that's something that I would just like not try to tolerate. I would try to make it so that that just doesn't happen. Um, and that's easier said than done, obviously, but um, you don't want to consider that a healthy equilibrium. You want to be working on that to make it so that's not the case any longer. Hello, KexD. Been learning rapid deco and having a really good time, but struggling getting rushed down by short range shooters. I'll end up jumping around and hitting the ground, not doing damage because of the smaller blast radius. Easier way to deal with this, or is it just don't get rushed? First of all, with rapid deco specifically, you can roll a torpedo, and that's just a really free 60 damage, as long as you know how to roll the torpedo well. I played 10 Detect Splatter Shot for long enough that like I rolled so many splat bombs, I know exactly how to do that, and that is a perfect answer to that problem. Now, you still need to hit your direct afterwards, unfortunately, but it gives you some time to set up, figure out how they're moving before you have to hit the hard shot, and then you've just got one chance to hit it, and if you don't, well, I mean, you're a blaster. There's only so much that's going to happen there. At that range, the problem for a blaster is that you have to hit a direct in order to do damage. That is a weak position for your weapon, just straight up. So, something that is also important to recognize is that you need to avoid that situation. Hi, Shaluna. VOD review a date. I mean, I'd do it. It's just, man, there's so much potential for cringe happening there that it might not be it might not be the most enjoyable content, honestly. I think people would be, that's something that people are going to be more sensitive about than their Splatoon gameplay. So, it's something I'm sure would be helpful, but also there are some situations there where that would just be hard to watch. And also maybe a little invasive. Because, like, did the other party consent to that VOD review too? I don't know. I'm sure that's a thing that people have done before. Does everything eventually circle back to dating advice? Not everything. Sometimes it's about, like, capitalism or the military-industrial complex. Sometimes it's about, you know, not being evil. Sometimes it's about, like, petting a cat. But it does go back there a lot. Everything can be dating advice if you try hard enough. Dating advice would be nice, though. I'm not dating anyone right now. Biggest advice I can give is legitimately just go and do things. Go out into the world and do things that will involve other people as often as you can. And stuff's just gonna happen. You know, you're just gonna find people where it's gonna be like, oh wait, there's a cute person who just entered my life. And now, you know, you're off to the races. But like, if you don't ever leave the house, the most important thing about, like, you know, becoming friends or becoming attracted to someone is that you are in proximity with them, that you actually see them on a regular basis in person. That's the best predictor out of anything possible that two people are going to end up in a relationship together. So if you're not seeing people, this is not going to happen. Anime Hero, thank you for the donation. I burned out on Splatoon 3 a while ago when some drama with my team drove me away. What tips do you have for someone trying to get back into the game after a multi-month hiatus? I mean, just start playing as much as you want to. And if you have a goal to be getting back on a team or something, just kind of put yourself out there playing some pickup scrims, play some Sendu queues. There's a lot of opportunities now for people to just play by themselves without a team. So take advantage of those and network a little bit. If you find some players who you really get along with and like you think you play really well together with, then just like invite them to play again and see where it goes from there. That incidentally is also dating advice. Tips on how to read the map faster. I try to flip the map open, but it takes a minute to figure out what I'm looking at. So map knowledge is really important, because if you don't know the shape of the map and the orientation that it's going to be at when you flick the map open, then it's going to take an extra second to orient yourself. But the really big thing is not to just look at the map blindly, but to have a question in mind when you open it. Like, I am looking for this one spot, and I want to see if there is orange ink on that spot. And if there is, then I know that an opponent has been through there, and now I know where I'm looking. Like, that's the sort of thing you want to set up for yourself, a little shortcut like that, so that you're not trying to make like a broad analysis of everything. It's more like, I'm flicking this open to see how far has the enemy gotten on the map so far, or is there someone that I don't know about that's sharking around here? Or, you know, you got to have a question ready so that you can flick the map open, get the answer to that question in like a split second, and then close it again so you can see stuff. Hey, Jem, I followed your dating advice and am now in a relationship with an amazing partner. Do you have any long-term relationships advice? Thanks. That would be incredible if that was actually true. I have a feeling that you're making things up. But long-term relationships advice is definitely something that isn't talked about enough. Because, like, right now, a lot of the quote-unquote dating advice is all about, like, getting you into the relationship. It's just, like, getting someone to say yes, even just for long enough to smooch you. And then it's like, mission accomplished there. You're going to live happily ever after. Here's your turnip on wheels. And, like, that's not how it works. So, I hate the long-term relationship advice. I mean, be very honest with yourselves. If there's something that's bothering you, do not bottle it up. Let it out immediately. Just talk to each other as soon as anything's bothering you, and have a method of talking to each other that is a very calm, even tone that shows that you're on each other's sides still, even while there's something that bothers each other. That's probably the biggest thing. Like, as we're human beings, we can communicate with each other. That's a freaking superpower. So as long as you can just talk about the problem and work it out, but with your two brains both on the same page trying to make it function, then that's about the best problem-solving resource you're going to find. Underground love group. I mean, it's kind of a meme at this point that, like, all my videos are also dating advice. I don't know how underground it is, at least insofar. I guess maybe insofar as my channel is underground, because it's not exactly like I'm doing ninja numbers out here, but you are my window to the digital Squid world. I squid with you in solidarity. Hello, Lair and Olivia. Thank you for saying ranked is not that scary. I feel silly explaining to my more casual friends that, hey, it's no big deal, because they're still scared. Yeah, like, when you're at the bottom rank, you cannot drop lower. There is actually no way for that to happen. You can lose every match, like, for like 1,000 games, and you're still only going to be C+. It's not like you're going to drop to a D rank. Is it C+? No, C-, whatever. Right? There's no failing. There's no F grade. Been wondering a thing. How can I practice callouts effectively? I've been struggling about learning them, so I want to know if there's an effective way to learn them. Something that helps a lot is to just quiz yourself using a picture of the overhead of the maps. Just, like, point at a spot and go, there, snipe. Like, point at another spot. Our ramp, that kind of stuff. And just get to where you can do that sort of thing really quickly, and maybe do it with, like, the in-game map too, and then maybe do it, like, running around and swimming around on the maps in recon mode. So be like, I'm going mid, I'm pushing their choke, come with me, I'm pushing snipe. Like, do that sort of thing so that you can kind of get a sense from all the angles that you're going to be seeing the maps from, of, like, as soon as you see that spot, the name pops into your head. After that, it's just a matter of figuring out what you want to do in the game and communicating it. And that's a whole different can of worms. But that's usually not what people struggle with at first. That's usually what people struggle with once they get to Div 5. Zelda E still viable, or did the nerf just absolutely kill it? I don't know how much. I don't think it's bad. I just don't know how prevalent it is these days. I haven't really been keeping an eye on gear that much. Hello, Specs. Thoughts on farming games like Harvest Moon? Not always my cup of tea, but I totally get it. Like, I 100% get what they're about, and they're chill, and it's really nice that they're so accessible to so many people that, like, you don't need to be so insanely cracked at the video game just to have any fun playing it. I think that's a beautiful aspect of it. And it's also a pretty good analog for life sometimes. Like, those kinds of games, anything with a long, slow build to it can actually be, like, a pretty good way to get your head around the idea of, oh, here's how I improve my life. Bizarrely enough, and as problematic as some of them end up being, like, dating sims are actually pretty good at establishing that idea that, like, okay, the way that you get better here is by making these incremental improvements and developing these routines and these habits. Like, there's a lot of stupid stuff in dating sims too, but that part of it's actually pretty good. Hey, what's up, says Rock Wizard. Hello, Rock Wizard. How could you leave me out of the one manga video so long ago? I at least talked about you by name once. It's a random username I came up with and people just shortened it to CC. That makes sense. Oh god, I am now 12 minutes behind on chat. Hi, Fade! Keep in mind, playing more and more isn't worth much if you don't do what Gem does. Reflect, learn, actively try and improve. I do that sometimes, I guess. But yeah, like, the number of hours played doesn't necessarily translate to improvements. Like, it has to be good practice. How does one avoid wanting to... because of finals, so I can motivate myself to play this game again? I would do your best at the finals. Push through. Be strong. Get enough sleep. Work out. Hi, Clover. Man, I've only just made it down to the donation from the anime hero in the chat. Ugh. There's so many things to catch up on. Should I buy a Pro Controller? I've been playing comp for a little over half a year on my Switch Lite, wondering if Pro Controller would be worth it. I personally think it is worth it, not necessarily because it performs better. I actually liked the joystick on the Joy-Con better, but the Pro Controller, in my experience, has been more consistent with not developing drift issues. I went through way more Joy-Con than I ever went through Pro Controllers. And granted, even those are not lasting as long as, you know, Old Faithful over here, the GameCube controller, but they are holding up better. How do you know when you should throw out Torp when it comes to Blaster Deco? Isn't it a heavy investment on your ink tank? It is, but if you're throwing a torpedo, then hopefully you are not in a position where you need to fire too many shots before you're back to safety again. This is not a weapon that should be playing from close range where running out of ink is as bad. Like, throw the torpedo out, stay in the ink, see where it goes, and during that time be, you know, getting your ink back. And then fire shots when necessary. But ink tank management is definitely a skill that it takes some developing, but it's totally possible. Quick, someone go on a date so we can review it. Easier said than done, I think, but... Jem, I have a question for YouTube chat. Why are y'all so cute? We'll wait for their response. Boy, I'm not cute. You're cute. This has gone well. Had an idea that I got from your stream title. What if you got a bunch of people from the Discord and held a Squid School exam? Multiple choice questions, practical exam with the participants play. So here's the thing. That would mean I would have to write a test. Do you know how long it takes to write a test? It takes a lot longer to write a test than it does to take one. Okay? Think about that for a minute. Like, that's really high effort content. Writing a test in one day probably meant that I was going to be at school for a lot later than a healthy person works. Been playing Splatoon since 2020. I have over 3K hours. Don't think I'm not good enough to play comp, but my friends aren't skilled enough to enjoy matches with me. That is a really difficult situation. I would say play casually with your friends, but branch out and find other people to play competitively with if that's something that you're driven to do. Because, I mean, it's fun to just be the best player among your friends and to be able to carry them and stuff. But also, it's hard to find the challenge that will really keep you on your game. Like, you're not going to feel like you're improving as much as you want to until you find some people whose goals match your own. I encountered that same problem with Smash, and really the only thing that I was able to do was reach out to the competitive community and be a part of that. And honestly, I didn't end up playing with my friends that much afterward, because then I got even better, even faster, and pulled even further away from them. So it's rough. It's not the easiest thing, and you kind of have to decide what your priorities is with the game. Like, do you really want to play that game with those friends? And if so, just keep playing casually and be the best among them, and that's fine. If you're not not so much interested in it has to be that game with those friends, I can do other things with those friends and still be friends with them, and I want to play competitively, then you have a different idea. Okay, so YouTube chat and Twitch chat are still flirting. Jem, I am not making this up. I met my partner playing Splatoon. We were on the same comp team. Wow. That's actually incredible. I have confirmation that my dating advice helped someone find their partner. I mean, it kind of makes sense for as long as I've been giving it. But also, I don't think anyone's ever reached out to tell me something like that. I don't think Pro Controllers and Joy-Con have different sensitivities, but the Pro Controller's heavier, so maybe it contributes to your sense that maybe the Joy-Con's, like, lighter. Oh, no, it's the other way around. Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, Tri-Stringer, is that weapon type considered an anchor? Yes. Hello, Fear. I've learned that it's not Fire Luna, that it's Fear Luna. But one day I'm going to forget that, and I'll just call them Luna instead. That's the strat. Hi, Velocity. Stoat on a Boat is a great name. Big fan. Got practice tonight. We're going to see if the team remembered anything Jim taught us. I hope so. If you need me to beat them up for you, don't hesitate to reach out. Still nice background noise for the studying. I'm glad to hear. I've come from Twitch chat to once again say the truth, that you two chat are a bunch of cuties. Ah, but here now you get to include yourself among them. Very clever of you. Very clever of you. Because now you are YouTube chat, and so now you're calling yourself cute. Thanks, future Gem. Yeah, no problem. Okay, we're only 9 minutes behind. Solo queue teammate was Squid bagging with the Rainmaker, 1 frame away from getting hit by an ink vac and triggering overtime. Whee! Yeah, not everyone understands how to play the objective in solo queue. You looked at Nebula as a possible platform for your content. My understanding of Nebula is that it's for a very specific kind of creator, and a creator who is like in touch specifically with certain other creators. Like I think there's only like 100 or 200 people who are on that, and they're all like bread tubers, right? They're all specifically like leftists, is my understanding, and maybe I'm wrong there. But I don't know. I'm not the hugest channel either, and I also don't know about their monetization model. Like I hesitate to think that there are that many people on Nebula and that I would be making comparable money there. Have you played Stardew Valley, and if so, who did you romance? I have not played Stardew Valley. I did play Harvest Moon back in the day, and I honestly don't remember enough about that game to be able to tell you the name of the person, but I think she had black hair. So maybe that narrows it down. Hello, Josh the Wolf. I don't think you should be taking dating advice from Doki Doki Literature Club. Yeah, I don't either. Probably not a great idea. What's your dating sim recommendation? See, Doki Doki Literature Club is not a dating sim. Now, if you haven't played Doki Doki Literature Club, I'm sorry that I've said that, because I've spoiled part of the surprise, but that's not what that game is. Dating sim recommendation? Hey, Total Boyfriend's pretty interesting, but it doesn't have that same kind of resource management system. I don't know. Too many of the ones that I've played have just been like, man, this is trash. This is just bad for other reasons than that one aspect of it. So I'm not sure there are many that I'd recommend. Hello, Gem from 12 minutes later. Hi, Anna. Emote only, so Gem gets more of a chance to catch up. Oh my god, no. If you could make one special X tier in the game, what special would you put there and why? What do I really... Inkjet. I think Inkjet's a really good special. Really well designed. It is strong, but also has significant weaknesses that can be exploited if used improperly. And also depends on you hitting shots, so there's always, you know, that chance of failure. That's that execution check. Need Romeo in the corner to look at. If I do that, it'll really ruin the green screen effect. Because, like, here's what it looks like if we get Romeo. You get to see my messy apartment. And, like, that's how far it has to go just to see any Romeo. There was a point at which I was saving up for another webcam so I could have a cat cam. But unfortunately, the channel has not been doing so well that I can put aside that much money from it for that at this point. Squid School first, no VOD reviewees. It's happened once or twice before. And again, it's like, it's finals, so it's totally understandable that people aren't here. Reviewees is a fun word. Yeah, I've never heard anyone else use it but me, but like, it's the only thing that makes sense. Hi, Mini Legend. Do what all my teachers do and steal a test from online. I'm not so upset that the teachers do that. What I'm upset about is that you know that and the teachers still do it. Because that's concerning. That there's an academic dishonesty problem brewing there. That's why I always made my own tests. A Smasher, yes, Ryan Phoenix. I played Smash Melee specifically, competitively, starting in 2008, and was very, very active in it right up until about 2019. Oh no, there's so much. Ah. It scrolled. It scrolled, and then I got to scroll up and see just how much chat I have to get through before I'm caught up again. Ah! So real for that title. I just know things, you know? First semester in college, you're right above finals. Yep. Yes, I am. Met my girlfriend thanks to Splat. We've been together for 7 months. Oh, I'm so happy for you, Melody. That's wonderful. Is there any way to explain clamblets through a comparison instead of just explaining the mode, how the mode works in general? Through a comparison? So you specifically need a metaphor? Or an analogy? Clamblets is the Dark Souls of game modes. Like fier. You have to emphasize the second syllable because I was borrowing French pronunciation at the time. So it's like Pierre, but with an F. Everyone's cross-pollinating between YouTube and Twitch so that they can also be cute. What would your ideal weapon kit be, disregarding balance? What do you think would be most fun to play? Probably the splatter shot with the splat bomb and the inkjet. I was thinking of maybe finding a lightweight shooter, because I love lightweight weapons, but also there isn't one that 3 shots the way the splatter shot does, and so they end up being kind of weak. So I'll compromise for the splatter shot. Favorite TV show? Ghost in the Shell standalone complex was really good. I really enjoyed a lot of How I Met Your Mother. There are some parts of it that really go downhill and jump the shark towards the later seasons, but early on that was phenomenal. Bob's Burgers makes feel good. I don't know if you would call it a TV show exactly, but if Fooly Cooley counts, then it's up there. Arcane is also incredible. If I could, I would draw a Twitch squid and a YouTube squid kissing very gay. Well, did you see Clowncore while they were touring? I saw them here in Chicago. I didn't, no. I should keep an eye on their schedule. I feel like they would actually be incredible to see live. Or nowhere, or just like anyone associated. Have you played Harvest Moon Animal Parade? No, I don't think I have. I only played, like, the one that was for the GameCube, whatever that was. I was a lot younger when I played that. I don't remember super well. Can't find a main. 1,300 hours in the series. Haven't found one weapon that clicks with me. I like the aggro play style, but I enjoy a lot of aggressive weapons. That can work. Like, what I would say is, like, when you get with a team, first of all, see what that team needs. Second of all, once you have a variety of different options that can work within that team context, just see which one tends to be the most successful. Like, have everyone else on the team play the same weapons, and then you switch back and forth, and see what ends up working the best. KFC Dating Sim, have played that on stream. Also played Hey Tofu Boyfriend around the same time. That's the one where you date pigeons. Best tips for Splatana Wiper. The biggest advantage of the Splatana Wiper is its mobility. Its ability to put down a very consistent line of ink. Not just a dot of ink, but a full line of it. In the amount of time it takes a lot of weapons to put down a dot of ink. And just to be able to swim right away. That speed is what you need to take advantage of. The kill time, not so much. So you have to make up for it by getting into awkward positions for the enemy team to deal with. Inkjet propagandist. Yes, correct. How would you make the splatter color screen more accessible? So the sound effect needs to go. Maybe just like dip the volume of the music down or something if you want to do something like that briefly. The flash at the beginning needs to go. The colors need to still be distinguishable. You could maybe put something in front of the screen, maybe like make it fuzzy or something. I don't know. I am not an expert on visual disabilities. I don't know what would and wouldn't trigger problems. Can you just put the camera on him while you talk? Oh my god. One day we will get the cat cam. We're working on it. We're working on it. Jim doesn't actually live in this Splatoon lobby? I kind of do. Like, this guy probably spends, like, 8 hours some days just kind of standing there. Not even necessarily playing the game for very long, but he spends a lot of time standing there. How far behind is he on chat? I'm at like 7 minutes at this point. I'm getting there. I think you are a cat if a cat was Gem. That's true, but also circular reasoning. I don't think we're deriving any new information from that. If you played Persona, I've played like an hour and a half of Persona 5 one time. And never kept up with it. Gator Queen says, really nice to see top community members like you actually give those. Okay, you lost me there, but I think you're talking about the splatter color screen video, and thank you, I appreciate it. Catboy Gem could be real. Did someone not screenshot the time that I showed up on stream in a cat costume? That was a thing that's happened. I also did that on a tournament stream once. I think that was for like one of the 20xx's. Splatnet is the phone app for Splatoon. Why does calling Clamblitz Dark Souls work so well? I was just shitposting there, but sure, we can go with that. Are you winning, son? I haven't played a game yet, but I'm winning at life, I guess, maybe. Hi, Adora Bunny. My girlfriend wants to get better at Splatoon, but she suffers from motion sickness really bad when she uses motion controls. What's a good weapon for her to try? Uses Aerospray or Splattershot Jr. because of high inaccuracy. Yeah, those are... I've heard a lot of people have success with the Tri-Slosher. Because it's a really wide hitbox, and it's still competitively viable. So that could be a pretty good option. But yeah, I'm really sorry about the motion sickness. That is rough, and that is a very legitimate reason not to use motion controls. Hi, Gray's Carrot. Against popular opinion, I enjoyed all the Fooly Cooly installments. I haven't seen the others, and I'm scared to, because the love that I have for the first season of Fooly Cooly is tremendous. It is so meaningful to me, and to have it be anywhere near less than what it is, I'm just too scared to watch it. Yeah. The original Fooly Cooly is just an absolute masterpiece. It is one of the most beautiful works of art that I have seen. It's like, as someone who was first an adolescent person, but then had to deal with adolescent people on a professional basis and learned, all that there is to like and dislike about such people. It was a moment of like learning to love your adolescent self for all of the craziness and all of the nonsense and all of the problems that it had. And God, that is such a beautiful place to get. I have not heard of Blue Eye Samurai. No. Watch Arcane. That Arcane. I won't say that Arcane is like the best show ever made, although it did have the highest reviews on Rotten Tomatoes of all time. But it is the single show, I think, that will be like most unambiguously liked by like the most people. It's just like an adult drama that deals with serious situations. Like if you're just looking for something relaxing, yeah, don't watch Arcane. But it's just got such an insanely broad appeal. You do not have to know anything about the video game to enjoy it. It is just a good show. And like animation enjoyers, music enjoyers, voice acting enjoyers, writing enjoyers, any of those kinds of people are in for a treat because all of that is just gorgeous. What would you say is the most difficult class of weapon to play? Probably chargers. Chargers just take so much longer to get good at than anything else because of the aiming requirement. It might be that it's stringers and just there isn't enough of a reason to be pushing them as hard now, but I would say for the time being it's chargers. Because I can still get some value out of a tri-stringer. I can't get it out of a charger. You either play 100 hours or 0 in Persona 5. Yep. I feel like that's kind of how it goes. But it's an RPG. You know what you're getting into. Opinion on the new X-Rank badges? I don't know. They've never been like a huge... That sort of thing has never been a huge motivator for me. I have been playing really only scoped chargers except for pencil. Any advice on how to play unscoped chargers? Take advantage of the increased mobility of the charge hold. Like, play it more like a midline weapon because you're able to move around a little bit better and get some stuff done that way. How did I miss Cat Gem? Yes, this was a thing. This is a thing. Do you think clam blitz would be improved if you had to drop your clams in super jumping? No, I like being able to super jump a power clam in. Otherwise, there's way less comeback potential. You can't move the power clams as fast without that. I think it's an important part of the game mode. Gotta go to a study group. All right. Thanks for hanging around, Jeffy Cat. What is Fooly Cooly? Fooly Cooly is the pronunciation of FLCL, which is an anime. It's a very short one. It's only 6 episodes, and they're about 25 minutes each. So you can watch the whole thing in one stretch. Thank you so much for the raid, by the way, Gregoru. Is this a new stream, Gregoru? Because, like, if you're only getting 2 viewers, then everybody who's here... Oh, my God. Wait, maybe it was a group stream, and so there's just a whole bunch of people spread out amongst a bunch of different people. So now I'm being rated by 2 people. Gregoru is a pretty high-level player, if it's the same Gregoru I'm thinking of course, and I think it is. I got to hang out with him a little bit playing Frisbee at Riptide, I think it was. But very good, down-to-earth kind of person. I appreciate a lot of the time that I've spent with Gregory, the conversations I've had with them, very thoughtful. And very good at the game. So if they're streaming right now, you should probably go and follow them, because you'll probably learn some stuff. And hello, also, Triforce comment. Thanks for bringing everybody over. Back to Fooly Cooly, though. So Fooly Cooly, like I said, very short. You can watch the whole thing in the amount of time it takes to watch some movies. You will be confused the entire way through, but that's part of the point. So just, sit back and enjoy the ride and piece things together as you can and feel things. That's what I would recommend for watching it. I want to use motion controls, but I think I'm developing carpal tunnel. So, Venomous, carpal tunnel is actually, super duper overdiagnosed. If it's not characterized by, numbness or tingling in your hands specifically, then it's probably not carpal tunnel. Most of the time, it's probably tendinitis of the wrists. Tendinopathy, as Doctor Who is someone I'm collaborating with on a video about this, would say. So bear that in mind, that that's probably what's actually happening. But I had that situation, the tendinitis of the wrists, and I got one of these wrist braces. You can get these from any kind of drugstore. They sell these really widely, and it works on either hand. You just slip the hand in. There we go. And you've got a metal little plate in here that stabilizes the wrist so it doesn't bend. And just wear this for a bit until the wrist becomes less sensitive. And then you can probably start getting going again. And also it can help to work on strengthening your muscles so that rather than the tendon being aggravated, the tendon having to bear a lot of weight, your muscles are able to compensate for it. That's after, of course, the swelling goes down. You don't want to aggravate the swelling right now. Meaning to ask what you enjoy about Smash and something from Smash that you wish Nintendo would implement in Splatoon. Smash is one of the most expressive video games that I've played. The Melee specifically, the movement in that game is so precise and so finely tuned and so fast that people just no 2 people play that game the same way, and that's super cool. You can often tell who's playing just by the color of their character and the way that they're moving around on stage. It's crazy. All right, scrolling. So I'm 7 minutes behind on chat. We're still making some progress here. You have any advice on gifts for someone who loves books? I don't read nearly enough to have a solid pick. Oh boy. So think about think of something that you do enjoy, like video games maybe, and think what do I get for someone who likes video games? That doesn't narrow it down enough, right? It's an entire medium of possible options. Someone might really like books, but only certain kinds of books. Fiction, non-fiction, like you got to get it narrowed down by like genre or something. And like, you know, maturity level, reading level, all of that stuff. There are too many variables for me to make a real recommendation as such. Thoughts on Gundam? I know nothing about them. I have never watched a Gundam anime. What do you think is the trickiest charger to use? Maybe like Splat Charger or E-Liter or something. I don't know, one of the one-shot ones. Do you play Animal Crossing? I never really got into Animal Crossing that much. I was happy to see so many people enjoying it, and it really increased the population of people who own a Switch, which was good for me and my business, but I never got into it myself. I played the DS version, the original DS version, for like 31 days of really, really intense play. And then on the 31st day, I was like, you know what? I don't need to play this game anymore. I think I'm over it. And I just stopped playing Dead and have never touched an Animal Crossing game since. Does that sound Ewoks? Yes. Yes, you have correctly identified, Gregory. Never really pull in the numbers. That's odd to me. I feel like you're a good enough player that I feel like people would want to watch. I'll check it out at some point. I'll see. I feel like you can be doing bigger numbers than that. Maybe I'll just have to raid you at some point. Made me the first pick in the Frisbee draft, which is the highest honor I will ever get. Oh my god. I mean, let's be real. You were one of like 3 other people who were out there who I was like, okay, I can tell that you have done something athletic in your life. There were other people who were athletic and just didn't look like it, but you were one of the few people who looked athletic. And I play to win, right? I'm picking people, like, I saw Bursty and I'm like, wait, Bursty's jacked. I'm getting Bursty. Bursty probably knows what he's doing. That's what I was thinking there. Also, who you probably married on Harvest Moon is Dia, only black-haired girl in either of the GameCube. Oh, okay, wait. We're doing research on my Harvest Moon wife. Harvest Moon Save the Homeland? Was that the GameCube? This... Okay, for the PlayStation 2, I played it on GameCube, so it can't have been that one. Yeah, I don't recognize that, because that seemed like a Japanese translation. Anyway. Thoughts on Gorillaz, the band? If you... I haven't listened to them very much. I haven't explored them very much. And, like, the idea, the concept, seems really interesting to me. And I've just never gotten into it. Oh, man, we're only 4 minutes off. What's the idea behind the cooler meta? So cooler is really important because it basically turns a 4v4 fight into a 6v4 fight. Because by the time you've splatted the third and fourth player, the first and second player that you splatted are able to jump back in. So it just makes it so that the effect of getting splatted is way less. It's really, really powerful. Very important to have. One shots are trickier than 2 shots? Interesting. Because with the bamboo, for example, or the snipe rider, you have a faster fire rate. So even if you miss once, that's not as big of a deal. With the one shot, you have so much of a cooldown that it's just so punishing. You're going to get splatted if you don't hit that one shot specifically. Is it weird that I really enjoy Bluefin when with the whole moving zone thing? I don't know. My brain gets happy when construction equipment. I mean, I will never fault anybody for enjoying any aesthetic or like aspect of the game mechanically on a casual level. It's when someone says Bluefin Depot should be played competitively that I'm like, see about that. Like, I really liked Mincemeat for a lot of reasons, and I still think there are aspects of it that are really fun. It's just, when I have to play it in tournament, I get sad. Regret buying Animal Crossing. The hype got to me. I'm sorry that you didn't like it as much. Title rings very true. Yep, that's where we're at. He surprised me a lot. I assume you're talking about Bursty. Yeah, I mean, it's not super surprising. Like, once you get to a certain, like, I guess, level of skill in something, it tends to be someone who's, like, really competitive, who wants to be the best at everything, like, who's got a very improvement-focused mindset, and, like, becoming, like, a top-level Splatoon player, becoming really physically fit, or becoming, like, really good at athletics, like, they kind of just go hand-in-hand sometimes. So, like, I'm not surprised at all to see that, like, not everybody who plays top-level Splatoon is a skinny nerd. They often have a lot in common with the jocks, more than anything else. Streams are sporadic. Okay, that sort of thing would do it. If it's not consistent, then that's something that tends to decrease viewership. Speaking to Greg Rue about his streams. It's on Magical Melody, which is GameCube game? Hold on. Harvest Moon, Magical Melody. Dia. Yeah, that might be her. I don't remember. I would really have to go back and, like, look at some video or something. But I think she wore green. I can't remember it super well. Again, I was probably like 8 or something when I played that game. I don't know, that's a random guess, but what's wrong with Bluefin outside of TC? There's a lot that's wrong with Bluefin. It's really, despite how big the map is, so much of it is inaccessible or like unpaintable or has no cover that there are actually not that many places to stand in mid. It's as big as it is. It's just too sectioned off. So it can get kind of cramped, and there are some major choke points to it. The divide between like the clam goal area and mid is just, it's too punishing, it's too slow. I really hate the little lip of the ledge that they put there that just catches you when you try to jump over and you fall into the water every time. It's clumsy to move around on, and that makes it so that there are just specific areas of the map that you load up with bombs. At least it's got a flank route. It's not a bad flank route either, necessarily. And the Rainmaker design is very weird. Have you ever discussed why you left teaching? Yes. So, for me, I think that there are ways to have a healthy relationship to your job as a teacher, but they felt difficult for me conscientiously. It always felt like if I was to save labor for myself, I would be compromising the quality of the education of children, and I wasn't comfortable doing that. So I ended up like I would spend some weeks, working 70 hours, 80 hours, 90 hours, depending on how much grading I had. I wasn't meeting new people. There was no way I was going to like go out on a date because I just wasn't going to meet anybody that way. I wasn't making new friends. Um, it wasn't a lot of money to keep me doing it just as an investment in my future. And as much as I loved the part of the job where I was in the classroom, there were too many things that were not that. There was too much, paperwork, too much calling parents, too much grading. Um, it just wasn't worth it in the end. The amount of energy that I put in for what I was getting back. I feel like it would be much easier to be like a math teacher, especially early on, where there's just like a single number answer you need to get, or like you just need to check for the work, and the work is going to be exactly the same every time. Like, it would be way easier to find the practice problems and just throw them on a test and not have to worry about it as much. But when you have to grade an essay, that's just a time commitment that turns every paper that you send out, you know, well, let's say I've got, 180 students, which was pretty typical. If I give them a 2-page paper, I now have a 360 page novel basically that I have to grade and get back to them within what, 2 weeks or something? Like, this is not I'm reading it. This is I am grading it. The amount of time that I have to spend on each individual paper was just not sufficient for each student, and there was not really a way for me to feel like I was doing right by those kids. So, it just didn't feel good. Thought every map was automatically put into comp just for existing. So, there are some tournaments that will run all maps. But I don't like that because some maps are way more competitively interesting, that like challenge a way more diverse skill set, that allow for more strategies to work than others. And I think the game becomes a lot less interesting when some of those maps are allowed in. The West is much more likely to ban maps than Japan is. Japan often just puts all the maps on random and says splat zones only, and that's their most prestigious tournament. Finally, almost caught up with chat. Yeah, I'm only 4 minutes behind here. We're getting there. Gushers seems like they might be fun. I haven't actually seen the upcoming challenge. Haven't been keeping track of those super well. Yeah, Bluefin does have the mincemeat clams problem in that it's too difficult to get to the basket. All teachers are underpaid. Like, on one hand, yes. Like, I knew a teacher who had a family, and I was thinking about the amount of money that I was making and what it would take to raise a family, and I'm just like, those two don't add up. Like, his wife needs to be making more money than he is, it seems, for this to be worth it. It's really not cool that people just don't have the ability to do that when they're working such an intense job as teaching. So that's part of the problem. But also, even if, like, I could live on the amount of money that I was being paid. It wasn't great money. It was like $30K a year or something when I was starting, right? Like, again, for the amount of work that I was doing, that's just not worth it. But there are jobs that I would be willing to work for that amount of money, because, like, I can live sparely enough that I can put something away with that and have something for the future and work towards, getting a house or something. But the amount of time that they expected in exchange for that, I just didn't have that time at the end of the day. I had it, just I took it away from things that I needed to use it on more. I was doing TA for an undergrad course. I spent triple the amount of time grading students' reports than what was specified in the contract, just so I could give them the average amount of personalized feedback. So really relate to the conscience part. Yeah. Um, Colleges in particular are getting really, really gross about this. I, the ASU in particular was a school that kind of pioneered this approach to automating higher education as much as they could. Like, it's one of the reasons why we have so many adjuncts as teachers instead of professors, tenured professors, and how adjuncts are just absolutely completely mistreated. That they should be like, unionizing or something and immediately demanding better treatment than they're getting, because it's really awful what they go through. And they're just getting way too many students. They're getting way too little individualized time with them. It's a big problem in college right now, but it's a problem across the board too. Like, we just need more resources to be put towards, because ideally what you would want is lower class sizes. That's the first thing that needs to change. And then, make sure that everybody's getting a livable wage once we have the lower class sizes, which does mean we need to increase the amount of staff. And that takes money. And I'm willing to pay that money personally in the way of extra taxes, but it seems like people are not proposing it, or people are not willing to. It's not too much to ask. What are some tips for being a teacher? That's what I'm planning on going to college for. The hard part about being a teacher is that you cannot prepare for what is 80% of your job in school. 80% of your job is classroom management. It is managing the behavior of, like, whatever age students. That's the hard part. And that's the part you also can't teach. That's the part you have to learn from experience. They can give you all of these models, but then when you actually get into the room and that one little girl in the back of the classroom starts whispering to her friend, you need to know that in that moment you have to tell her to stop, because otherwise what you are doing is implicitly giving permission to everybody else in the classroom to start whispering to their friends. One person whispering in the classroom isn't a big problem, but once you've got 3 or 4 people, now it's noticeably more difficult to hear what's happening, and it's more distracting, and people are going to learn less in that situation. So it's having the rapport with the students that they don't resent you for telling them to stop talking, but being willing to tell them to stop talking every single time with the most incredible discipline, even if you have to wrench yourself away from the lecture that you were interested in giving. The reason that people get into teaching is to be able to lecture, to talk about things with people. And that is not the skill that will carry you through. Like, you'll have that. You'll develop that from being, a student of teaching. But ultimately, it is whether you can connect to the kids and have a good set of rules that you can get them to stick to so that you can get the information across. That is what will determine your success or failure. Thank you so much for the subscription, Jules, and all the Romeos. All right, I'm probably behind by more now. Yeah, only 6 minutes behind, though. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're catching back up. We're making progress. This is just a mountain I've been climbing. The Sisyphean boulder that I've been pushing up the cliff. My dad's a primary teacher, and honestly, I really respect him for it. It's not a job I could see myself in. Yep. Totally agree. Hi, Squid Oku. How would you say strategy in Japan is compared to the US? What FLC says, and I'm more inclined to listen to him because, for one thing, he's a better analyst than me. For a second thing, he lives in Oceania and therefore has had more access to Japanese players in, like, top-level solo queue and stuff. Basically, Japan is more oriented to the win condition than the West has been. The West has been, how do you win fights? And then the objective is like a secondary concern. But Japan is more, how do we get the tower pushing? And they don't necessarily think about everything in terms of fights all the time. Sometimes they will create situations where you're in this kind of in-between state of, like, we're skirmishing, we're engaging, but it's specifically only to accomplish these objectives. We're not going to hard commit for the splat. They don't seem to have that, like, 1v1 me bro sort of attitude in the way that a lot of top NA players do. And that has its pros and cons, because the NA players are a lot of the time capable of mechanically outplaying Japanese players in 1v1s. The problem is setting themselves up in positions where they can actually get those kinds of engagements. So, thank you so much for the sub, Jupiter Saturn, for Cat Cam. Oh my god, I appreciate you. Thank you. Here, Pennsylvania is a good state to teach. Everyone I know that went to college for teaching had to go out of state to get a job because the jobs here are really competitive. Interesting. So it sounds like really difficult to get into, but that it's good once you're in there. Good to know. Squid Squool. Hi, Jules. And thank you also for the Prime sub, AJ Rainbows. I'm catching up on chat. I'm making progress. Been learning a lot about revolutions recently. Are you guys talking about a revolution to take over what? Stream chat? Oh my god, Rissa, thank you. Hype train contribution? Oh. Wait, there's a hype train now? Oh, when did that happen? Shoot. There's not like a sound effect or something for that. We made it to level 1. Awesome. This is so weird how this is worded. It says, about to beat your last record. Keep up the support. It's like talking to me, like, my last record, but then I should keep up the support to myself? Maybe it's talking to chat in general. Maybe it's giving that message to everyone. I don't know. It's weird. Happy guitar rift play. Oh, you're thinking of riff, R-I-F-F. Different word, actually. It's probably way too early to be thinking about strategies for the classroom, but I've been thinking about having a dedicated time in class to talk with friends, help alleviate some of that. So the challenge with that sort of an idea is that, number one, you only have so much time to cover information, and losing minutes definitely cuts into that. Number two, you're going to have a really good procedure that you establish day one and have them practice and like reinforce until they get it for ending that time. Like have like a bell or something where like you ring that bell and they are expected to be silent within 2 seconds of hearing that bell. Otherwise, that time where they're talking with friends is going to drag out another 45 seconds or a minute. And you're going to lose a lot of extra time from that having started. You also want to make sure it doesn't get too loud. But in theory, there's an idea there because it kind of gives them a little bit of a brain break where they have to focus just a little bit less and then they can refocus and get back to it. Just, I don't know how much of a conversation they're going to have and enjoy during that time. So it's hard. What can help for that sort of situation is you decide to have collaborative work where they're talking to each other, and if they have something quick to say to each other, they can get that out there, but then they can go back to work and get the thing done that they need to get done. Thank you so much for the gift subs, AJ Rainbows. So now we've got some extra people to add to the end screen of the videos now. Thank you. All right, there's one more VMO, and then I think we should be done with all of the VMOs. Start spamming to push the boulder back down the mountain. Oh no! I'm only 2 minutes behind. You guys aren't succeeding at it yet. What's your favorite kind of puzzle? I really like logic puzzles, like the grids where it tells you like Sandra is not the one with the brown hair or the poodle. And you logic out which combination of people is which. I did a lot of those puzzles in the like gifted enrichment program that I was in my elementary school, and I have really fond memories of that. It was really satisfying to get it right finally. I do like Sudokus as well, though. Not that I'm as good at them as you are, or anywhere close. For those who don't know, J.R. Hyde, aka Squidoku, is like a up there at a national level competing in Sudoku. Like, very, very, very good at Sudoku. And thank you for the gift sub, Kexd. Appreciate it. Okay, Pavlov. No, but it's real. Like, Pavlovian conditioning, it's a thing. And it is a very effective way to work with children. They respond well to it. What's your take on the word chat as used by streamers? Is it a pronoun? Yeah, okay. I see what you mean. So what part of speech is it? Proper noun. Plural proper noun. It's like you're actually no, it would be a common noun, just a plural common noun, because you're like talking like let's say you're in a construction company and you say, you know, crane operators over here, chat over here. Same kind of function, I guess. I've been thinking of making a hand-painted comic for a while, but I'm not the best writer, nor do I always have the motivation. Should I just go for it and make it with not really any dialogue and let the art tell the story? Yes. If the question is ever, I have been thinking of making a thing. Should I make it? The answer is yes. You will fuck it up. It will be awful. You will not like it. Make it anyway. Because then, the next time you try to make a thing, you'll remember all of the things you screwed up, and you'll be like, oh, wait, I can do it better this time. And that's how you by the time you've done like a bunch of them, you'll start to get pretty good at it. But screwing it up is the first step to getting there. So go screw it up. Teacher plays music as she gets settled and takes attendance, and that has set the expectation for the talking to end. Yeah, I really love that strategy. You play a song at the beginning, and then once the music goes off, it's just this clear audio cue. Oh, something has changed. It's time for XYZ. I have even done that before for specific moments in class. It was difficult for most of the jobs that I had to do that consistently because the time in between periods is really important to be able to use effectively, and having the extra step of needing to get the music all set up, especially when I was going from classroom to classroom, was a little bit difficult. But I love doing that sort of thing. That's really, really a good idea. And it's music that you get to share with your students too, right? They get to connect to you through the music that you share. So that was really good. Do you do Squid School full-time currently? Yes, that is my job at the moment. That's why I've got this bot that keeps on posting all of this link tree with all of the links, which just happened now, coincidentally, because people clicking on like clicking the subscribe button, people like watching my YouTube videos and giving me ad revenue, people supporting me on Patreon, like that is what I'm living off right now. So. I've heard someone classify chat as a fourth person pronoun. That sounds like they're just making things up. I don't think that's something you would hear from a linguist. Okay, yeah, world level. Yeah, so very, very good at Sudoku, like I said. Sucking at something is the first step to being pretty good at something. Some dog somewhere. It's a pretty smart dog. I'd like to think I'd be a good teacher, at least better than the ones I had in my school days. Yeah, I mean, if you care, then you probably will do better than some people who are in the profession. But do not underestimate how much work it is, how much mental load there is, how much is going on at any one time. Because what the students experience and what the teacher is having to process in order to give them that experience, very different things. It's way easier to sit in on a class and be critical of a teacher than it is to be that teacher and teach that class. Gonna play all the single furries at the start of every class. That's a song? I mean, I'm not surprised per se, but I'm actually more surprised I haven't ever heard of it. But I have a morbid curiosity. Indoctrinate your students into loving death metal? That one might be a bit of a hard sell. But you can try. Try and let me know how that works out. I zoned out for a minute. The burst bomb looks really tasty. Thank you for that. Thank you for that contribution. Do you ever think you'll go back to teaching? I've considered going subbing, getting a substitute license all squared away and everything. And doing that occasionally for some extra money on the side. Because I don't want to fall too far behind on like understanding the new generations of kids. I felt that I got a much better grounding on what people were going through as a whole across society, but especially in that age cohort when I was teaching. And I've been away from that for a few years now, so that's something that I find valuable about it. But I don't know that I'll ever go back to teaching full time unless conditions for it dramatically improve. In your opinion, does pineapple belong on pizza? If you enjoy it on pizza, yes. I have enjoyed it on pizza before. It takes a specific kind of pizza, but I think it can work. And that's crazy because I don't like pineapple in general. Like, you just give me pineapple in a fruit salad, I will not even want to eat the fruit salad because the pineapple juice is all over all of the fruits that I do like. Like, that's how anti-pineapple I am. But putting it in pizza improves it considerably. Jake from Adventure Time. There we go. Okay. Favorite game soundtrack? Wind Waker is up there. I think the Dark Souls games deserve a lot of credit because I think their soundtrack is a lot of what makes them work. And also the boss fight music is just so good. But I definitely... So the Pokemon games do a really good job of having like looping music that doesn't annoy you like crazy. They deserve a lot of credit for those, especially the classic ones. Baldur's Gate, there's a lot of that soundtrack that's just gorgeous. I'm still obsessed with... I don't want to say too much about this song because it spoils a very important story beat that I think everyone should be able to experience, but it's towards the end of Act 2 in the Shadowfell. You'll probably know what I mean. I've got that on Spotify. Doctrinate your students with Linkin Park. Linkin Park is pretty heavy. Linkin Park is one of those songs that, like, you may want, like, a content warning for, because that gets really sad in ways that not everyone's going to process the same way. First time here, I wanted to ask, how do I get better on X Battles? So the answer is, to improve the game, which is so broad that I can't give you direct advice without knowing a little bit more about what it is that you're struggling with. Um, I have, a lot of videos on the subject of improvements. I'd recommend like the How to Get Out of S Plus video, back from Splatoon 2. Everything there is still completely relevant, and it's one of the best videos I've ever made. Um, and I think that sort of thinking will help get you on your way. Were you teaching online during COVID? I miraculously got out of teaching just the year before COVID hit. I was so lucky in that. Yeah, so the sauce on the barbecue pizza, um, the barbecue sauce on a pizza actually goes really well with the pineapple because it's a little bit sweeter, and so the sweetness of the pineapple and the barbecue sauce don't clash. Where's Jem's fruit tier list? Did I make a fruit tier list? I don't remember making a fruit tier list. I believe you if I've made one, but all I remember was making a soup tier list. Yeah, Wind Waker music could probably still make me cry. I played that game a long time ago. Plin Plin Plon, yes. Absolutely gorgeous final boss music. The Dragon Slayer armor music is so sick. Oh my god. Have you played Majora's Mask? I've played maybe like a third of the way into Majora's Mask, and I think I needed to have played it during its time, because I think then it would have been a favorite of mine, but today it feels dated to me. And having not had prior memories that make me want to re-experience it, I just don't really get into it as much. There are too many little things that bug me. But I don't know. Honestly, the gameplay of Wind Waker isn't really that exciting for me either. It's much more the story of it that really brought me through that game. It's polished. I think there are better adventure games in terms of the mechanics these days. What's your favorite Chirpy Chips song? Blitz It. Yeah, no problem, Ghost Bunny. Hope you find them helpful. Is there any change in the soup tier list? Not really. There haven't been new soup flavors in a long time. Vague memory of seeing your fruit tier list on the Bluebird app. Oh, maybe I just posted it to Twitter, because I don't think I made a video out of that. Hard stuck on Dragon Slayer armor to the point I don't enjoy it. It's a hard fight, but for whatever reason, I never felt discouraged by it in the way that I was with some others. It took me a while to get through, but it felt like an enjoyable challenge to me. That like there was a lot of movement, there was a lot of like well-timed dodge rolling. I think one of the things about the Dragon Slayer armor is that it has an attack that is really well designed to bait your rolls that looks a lot like another attack that isn't, that is just going to come out quickly. And like detecting that visually is really hard, even if you already know what's happening. Guys, I made it to the bottom. I'm there. Haha. Thoughts on the new X Power changes? I haven't felt too different about it, and maybe that's just because I haven't played it enough. The comps are still weird. I don't really have a good sense of like what other people's powers have been lately. My powers have always been really all over the place, so it's hard for me to judge. Like, is this more consistent than it was before? I don't really know. What are some examples for team exercises? My team has tried one where only one person's allowed to talk. I want inspiration for some other exercises. Have a race race to be the first person who can put a bomb on the Rainmaker shield, or the first person who can bump into it if you don't have bombs on your main weapons. Really, really good for mechanics practice. It gets you to realize like all of these little movement errors that you've been making. It teaches you how to paint more efficiently. Like a lot of those kinds of things are actually having a massive impact on your ability to play that you don't really notice because like that extra second, you'd never get to visually compare having that extra second to not having the extra second in the moment. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for the gifted memberships, Brominus. That's so kind of you. Thank you. So there'll be a bunch of VMOs happening for a bit here. 1v1s are also actually really good for mechanics practice. If it's not mechanics you're trying to train, if it's more coordination stuff, then really the best thing might actually just be to play a bunch of open and just be very, very set on executing your game plan. Like, don't worry so much about winning or losing. Don't just like do whatever it takes to win. Like, work on, here is the thing we're going to work on, and we're going to work on it even at our own detriment so that we can learn the game the right way. Thoughts on the vichyssoise soup? I have no idea what that soup is. Sorry. I'm not the most knowledgeable on the topic of foods. That's not my forte. Probably go with Nameless King more than I do with Midir. Oh, for most difficult boss or something? Struggle with more than I do with Midir. Nameless King is definitely really hard. But I've never fought Midir, so I don't know the comparison too well. Love your content. Keep it up. Thank you so much. That's really kind of you. Feel so bad for your Inkling. His ankles must be killing him. I mean, I've been bouncing my leg almost as much as he has, so... Doing casual 1v1s and 2v2s, which is fun and fairly good mechanics practice. Yeah. Did you get emotional when finishing Octo Expansion for the first time? The scene where she surfaces for the first time and is just looking around, and you realize, wow, she's just never been outside, up above ground before, and this is also it's so beautiful, but also she's like mourning that which she has not experienced. Like, that was really real. That hit pretty hard. And the more subdued credits music at the end, I think, was beautiful for that. Octo Expansion's really interesting. It's the role for Stamper Neo. Be a Stamper and then get Crab Tank and be able to use it from like right where you were already. Have you played Sekiro ever? I have not. I've been interested to try sometime, but I haven't even finished Elden Ring. Like, I got so deep into that game and just haven't really felt the urge to... I think what it is that I'm a lot less interested these days in pushing myself for the sake of pushing myself and like trying to do something hard because it's hard. It's just, I'm less down to just sit and grind out like practice of that nature to try and be the best when I'm already doing that in Splatoon, and there's already so much work and discipline that goes into other things that I do that, like, I just want to relax sometimes. Like, when I have that leisure time, I'm not trying to use it to do something more difficult. Which Splatoon game had the best story mode? Yeah, if we're not including Octo expansion, that does change it a lot. I never played Splatoon 1. I only played like 2 hours of the multiplayer, so I really couldn't say. When was the last time your Inkling ate something? We had a food ticket at some point, but it's probably been weeks or months. He'll be fine. Do you think you could teach people from Squid School on how to play Dark Souls? Yeah, I'm sure I could. I mean, I feel like part of Dark Souls is figuring it out yourself, though. Like, thematically, part of Dark Souls is that the game is unfair, the world is unfair, your position in life is unfair. If you're going to make it, it's going to be because you suffered to get through it. It's going to be because you died over and over and over again, frustratingly, painfully, and just took advantage of the one opportunity you have, which is your ability to try again. And that even then, the game is not going to teach you what to do with that ability either. Because everyone has their ulterior motives, and you as this peasant and undead, like with the lowest of the low, you are not who they are going to confide in. They might recognize your power and try to manipulate you into doing something that aligns with their interests, but they're not going to inform you. So you have to inform yourself, which means doing detective work, the likes of which it took an entire community to really figure out and be able to summarize effectively. People just figured out bit by bit by bit what's actually going on in Dark Souls. And all of that is part of the point. So I feel like for me to teach people the game, it would be only for the purpose of teaching them as much as they need to be able to get started themselves, and then to let them do as much as they possibly can on their own. It would be like training wheels that they would have to take off eventually. And that would, I feel like that's an individualized thing. What's your opinion on the gambling buff in S3? Oh, like getting the Sheldon licenses? Yeah, I'm down. That's good. Just recently joined a new comp team a couple weeks ago. Really like the team. Not as active as I would like, and we don't really get to practice much. Don't know what I should do. One of the things that's really important with a team is to share the same goals. And it sounds to me like one of your goals is to get better faster than the team is able to practice. So that is a really important thing to consider. What I've seen some people do to handle this is they play for another team or play a bunch of pickups or something. So they're getting the experience and the practice that they want while they're not able to play with their main team. Do you think the Western comp team would benefit if they used strategies from the Japanese comp scene? They do. We are absolutely watching what Japanese teams do. S3 story mode was very disappointing. Too many auto-strollers feel... I liked a lot of the design of the S3 levels, but they were kind of like random scattershot throughout the map, whether I liked them. I was definitely not a huge fan of the story, nor was I a huge fan of the S2 story. The final boss encounter in S2 was very cool and memorable, and the music carries it super hard. I also just find Marie and Callie to be more compelling characters, but it's still not great. That's not what I play the game for. Single player is probably my least favorite part of Splatoon. Yeah, the thing about Dark Souls is that you never get your first playthrough back, and your first playthrough is the one that really hits you in the gut. It's the one that really makes you feel things. Like, I had a friend who wrote a whole college paper on how, like a thesis, on how Dark Souls helped as an analog for his depression and helped him get through it. that even if it sucks, even if it's frustrating, you just have to keep going was kind of the ultimate idea that came out of that, which, whew, that was heavy. But like that's the sort of thing you get out of a first Dark Souls playthrough. A second Dark Souls playthrough, a 10th Dark Souls playthrough is just like, oh yeah, there's that guy again. I like that guy. Like, this boss is kind of hard. That's kind of how it tends to go at that point. Hot take, there's nothing wrong with asking for help with Dark Souls. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, that was how the community figured out the lore. Like, the lore of the game would not have been figured out by any one individual person. It took detective work from a lot of different people to compile all of that and get it to the understanding that we have today. It was a game that was very much designed to be run with like an online community of forums. Like, not that like you get to just Google every single answer to your question, but that you can at least hop on GameFAQs and maybe there will be someone there who's been through what you've been through and might be able to answer. Like, that's the sort of thing. You go and talk on the schoolyard with other people about like how they got where and what they did to do it, and then you go back home that evening and try it yourself. That was what Dark Souls was kind of designed with in mind. But I do also believe that there is an extent to which you have to do it for yourself. I'm back from boiling ice cream. That sounds like a waste of some ice cream. Everyone's like, no, don't feed the Inkling soup. They're all just arguing what should be done to sustain my Inkling. He doesn't need it, trust me. He hasn't died. I've been not feeding him for a long time. Watch RT Games playthroughs of Dark Souls. I might check that out. Like, I do like RT Game. I also don't tend to like long plays of things. I like to like more edited content about it, but could be worth it. Hi, the Kitsune droid, or druid, not droid. We're talking Dungeons and Dragons, not Star Wars. Oh my god. Okay, so context. I did a whole bunch of working out today, including pull-ups. And so what I'm doing right now is causing a lot more of a stretch and soreness than it will for most people. Whew. Oh, that feels good. These aren't the druids you're looking for. All right. I'm going to do something revolutionary. Finishing a Medify coaching session into a Squid School stream. Welcome. That was, yeah. Wait. No, it's a different shoe. Where's the other shoe I use? It's this shoe. That's what I've been getting wrong. Right, okay. Yeah. I wish ramen was in rotation for X, but I'd rather do X. Are you playing a game? Not my Squid School? Yeah, I know. It takes a while, but I do eventually get there sometimes. Is it considered cannibalism for an inkling if they ate less evolved squids? Hmm. I mean, they wouldn't really be the same species at that point. Hi, Cuber. It's like, would you really say it's cannibalism for us to eat an ape? Okay. We've got advantage here. We got another one. Yeah, shoot at me instead of the Rainmaker, please. Thank you. Much appreciated. Nice. Well, I am the only one alive, which means they all know where I am. I'm scared. Well, not this guy. This guy doesn't know where I am. I don't feel comfortable with this line of questioning, Jim. Oh, man. I could have had that. Oh, well. Didn't lose anything for trying. Way too predictable a movement pattern. They were firing the whole way through. We saw that coming. Yeah, fight me. Thank you. That's what got us the checkpoint last time. You deciding to fight me there. Man, I wish he hadn't hit both of us with that shot. That would have made it a lot easier. Worried about the blaster chasing me over here. I don't really know what was going on over there anymore. Okay, they're just going to rotate it this way. Or we're going to do this. Oh, wow. I'm surprised he was able to slip through that. Good job for my teammate to follow up and get him. But I thought my pre-firing was going to get him there. Okay, that's 2 down. Nope. I was hoping someone else would go in with me at that point. We had an advantage. I feel like that's a fight we win if we just all commit at the same time. Okay. This crab isn't going to do too much to me. They made a mistake backing up there. If they'd stayed closer to the wall, it would have been hard for me to hit them, but as soon as they... Oh, hi. Man. I just didn't notice the flank at all. So they're going to get pretty far, but not far enough. So they need to make it to 7. Me and my roller had the same idea. Just get some paint down for him. I didn't even notice it got picked up in the first place. That's really bad from me. I should not be fighting there. We need to drop that down. Drop it down. Drop it down. Don't die there. Don't die where they can pick it up and get lead easily. We need to get this popped and removed. That didn't hit him? Huh. Looked like it did on my screen, but... maybe they dodge rolled and it was just a little late. But getting it down was all I really needed to do there. I'm fine with dying for that. Ah, they jumped. I started firing just a little too early and they responded just in time to jump after the second shot. See you. I still die. Oh, it reset? They didn't pick it up? That's a big mistake. Now we just hold it in the shield and they can't possibly pick it up. Okay, well, they're rotating it left and I'm not in position to stop it, so okay. Works fine. Game audio seems a bit low. It's more just so that the talking isn't overshadowed by the game sound. Some people have more trouble than others listening to what I'm saying while also like hearing game audio. So I try to make it as easy as possible for them. I'm some people. There we go. Yeah. So there's your justification for it, I guess. It's easier for me to focus with how the audio is right now. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, there are some people that it definitely helps. And even if that's not most people, it's still the way that I'd prefer to do it. I'm going to make a goal of painting a lot in this match. Just so that we don't get, like, snuck up on. And our roller has room to move. Oh, boy. Please stop. Thank you. Okay, they're going to get the checkpoint in all likelihood. Good stops. Wow, nice. How'd they get through? That was the Rainmaker solo pushing against two. Man, I had the read and then they just moved and I couldn't track them. Okay, good stops. You are stuck. Just the roller, and they could be sharking anywhere because I have not been out to paint enough. I need to play more like a paint support this game. How is the roller coming from there? They did all of this. Oh, beacon. Well, at least we got check. But man, it is annoying that that is happening. There's someone over there. Well, I didn't do much, but the inkjet did. Nice. Okay. We should be able to stop this before any more points are scored, unless bad things happen. this point, I'm just making sure I don't get snuck up on, because that roller's crafty. Trying to see if I can get an angle where I can just do that. That was the idea. They're getting a lot out of their beacons. Okay, this is definitely doable. Let's get in here. Maybe a little too deep. Okay, go, 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 go. Forward, forward, we got people. Oh no, it's the inkjet. Nice. Well played, well played. We probably still pop this and go. Let's go! Nice. That Tri-Slosher was putting in work. Man, I didn't even paint that much because I was just dying a lot. What's your reason for not running Ninja Squid? For one thing, I'm trying to just get used to not using it. There are a lot of people who aren't using it at like top level and whatnot. And I've just kind of, it's been a bit of a crutch for me recently in Splatoon 3. So part of it is trying to break that. And I might go back to using it when it really comes down to it, but I want to have the option to not. Recommendations for optimizing gear? It's literally the last thing that I care about. I think that in terms of like improving your play, gear is like literally the final variable that I would ever whoa. Okay. We've got a DC. That like gear is the final variable that I would ever consider for like whether we lost a game or not. It's always going to be something more fundamental than that. So I don't pay a lot of attention to it. Like, you can win with bad gear. It's not going to give you that much of an edge. But I just kind of use Sendu Deading / builds and look at what top players are doing. I try to understand why that is, and then just copy it myself. All about the drip, not the abilities. I mean, you can have both. It's a lot... Honestly, for me, it's a lot more about the abilities than it is about the drip, but I try to have something at least coherent. It's Fashion Souls. Thought I could make a break for it. Ugh, that's annoying. There is a screen user in-game, folks, so if that's gonna cause problems, bear in mind that part of my strategy here might involve moving through it deliberately, if that happens to be advantageous. Something I've learned with the Trizuka is that if I'm too close to someone to really want to be using it, but I end up having it popped, I prefer to just use it defensively, just like zone with it. Threaten an area closer to me than necessary to at least keep them away from me. And that you can usually keep yourself safe by doing that. It's a shorter ranged weapon. I think they've seen me. Hard to say. No, this guy hasn't. Unfortunately, nobody was defending, so that's probably on me. Alright. Well, at least we kept lead. Let's get back out there. Ah, okay. Ah, hi. A few more points. Nothing game-winning, but it's nice. Crap. And here I once again find myself not in position to defend. This is so annoying. We got a couple. Got a little bit of a shortcut. Oh. Why are we all the way up there? Oh, there's zip casting. I was like, why did we go that far if there's still people on, like, right mid? But that makes sense. I didn't realize they... Oh, no, 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 no. How did I get someone? Must have been a bomb. My job here is just to keep that guy off the Rainmaker. Ah, shoot. Oh, boy. I'm worried they're going to get sharked. Yeah. Let's not make the same mistake. Let's actually get in their way. Thankfully, they didn't react and hit that shot on me. I took way too long to get my aim on. That should not have been safe. We're gonna need some help to pop this. They've already respawned since we splatted them. That guy was behind me with. Someone pick it up. Someone take it. Oh my god, we had an opportunity. That was an opening. Ugh. Ooh, there we go, nice. Oh, I'm surprised I didn't splat them there. I hit 2 shots and I didn't think they moved enough to avoid. Why did we go backwards with it? That was tough. I at least moved the people in mid far enough away that the Rainmaker was able to get to safety. No, don't go forward yet. I knew that I needed to check that left side. and then they went in before I could even get there to stop it. Shoot. I did have some significant errors on defense. I thought I was going to be able to get on top of the Rainmaker both times, and it scooted away from me just enough that now I was on the wrong side of the objective, and they kind of just walked forward for free without me being there to defend. So those are some major errors that led to them getting the lead. Squeezer is not an easy weapon to play. It's kind of like Charger, I think, where because the skill floor is so high, by the time someone can even play the Squeezer at all, they're going to be a pretty good player. We had Dapples. That's just a situation where I expect that we're going to be able to get pop. But I guess not everyone went for it. It's like Dapples do some of the most object damage in the entire game. Stamper does a lot of object damage. Like, if that's a competitive team comp, I feel like there's... the other team just, like, lets us get the pop because there's no way that they can stop us. Stop that. You also stop that. $33 is not bad. It's definitely beatable, but it can definitely also be a winning push. That'll be enough for Azuka. That is not a trajectory you're going to hit with that. Okay, we have not been popping the shield, so I'm not going to try and go for it lest I die again in the same fashion. Where did they go? Okay. Nice. I'm worried about how little paint I have on the right to be able to get over there to stop a Rainmaker push. I'm less worried now that I've splatted the person who was in my way. Yeah, I don't like how far forward we are right now. We don't have a lot of paint to work with, so we don't really know where people are coming from. Did they have more? Oh, that was a 96. Okay. I thought I was fighting the shot, and then they started hitting me from a range I didn't realize they could hit me from. Nice job. Yeah, if we just pop the shield, we win. The pop. Now, I don't know if we wanted to pop it yet, because now they can just grab it and go in. Well, wipe out might be worth it. Come left. We've cleared out the left. It's totally there. Oh, be careful, Benji. Mm-hmm. Still worried about that right side. Do we have beacons out on the map? Have we? That I've just been missing? So we've got a Dapples, but okay, I guess there's one right there, but that's not where we need to be right now. Nobody's where we need to be right now. We might just lose lead for this. I thought someone might do that. Oh my god, I actually can't jump over. I cannot get in range to be able to hit those shots. Okay, I was worried they were going to hammer to just come and pick up the Rainmaker, because I wasn't in a great position to defend yet. Worried about someone coming over the top mid. Can someone rotate right? Like, this is clearly the way they're trying to go. But we don't have anybody here except for me. Just playing this super safe. If I go down, we lose a lot of defensive potential. Okay. It was a little uncomfortable how we were so stacked up on the left side when they were clearly trying to push right. But ended up working out. All I really needed to do was play weak side there, and someone was able to flank in. Yeah, Toxic Mist does things. It just doesn't do as many things as other subs do. I also don't remember getting any tacticoolers during that match, although I probably wasn't near enough to the Dapples to be able to grab them if they had put them out there. Okay, they only used one tacticooler the entire time, so that would be why. It's a weird weapon to play for that specific kind of play style. Like, you'd think if they're not going to get very many specials, that they're just going to be running in and diving a lot, that they'd prefer the torpedo to the beacon. Because the beacons either weren't up very often, or were getting shot a lot. I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of different ways to play that play style with a weapon that would do it better. Especially since, like, they weren't taking advantage of the DPS of the Dapples either by going after the shield. Like, that's one of the biggest advantages it has in Rainmaker, is that it's better at popping than, like, anything else. So you'd think they'd go for it. Oh, I just splatted myself on the screen. Ah, shoot. This might get me in safely enough. And, yeah, they know I'm here. There was someone above me, so I don't want to challenge that and end up in a 2v1. They probably still get check. Or maybe they don't. They don't. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, they do, because I took absolutely ages to splat that player. I hit him twice. There we go. Where did that come from? Man. Every time I think to start flanking, and that is the exact moment that everyone dies. That's going the other way. No, it's not. Man. Just making sure nobody's flanking on the right side. Don't want them to have all of this. That's what I was worried about. Well, that would have been on target if there wasn't a wall on the way. I hit enough shots, just not in quick enough succession. Not enough. We really needed that checkpoint at the least. What hit me? Oh. Nice. Good claps. Alright, we get it. Can we get anything more after? I don't trust that fight. We have 20 seconds. I have time to move in from a little further back. Pick it up. Oh, no. We might not have time. Grab. Okay. Please don't go too far in. Okay. Oh, man. We just all died to the roller. That's unfortunate. We had a couple of opportunities there. We also had some opportunities that we didn't move on quickly enough. Squid School equals good luck. There you go. I mean, if you just keep playing, eventually you're going to win another one, right? You're not just going to lose 100% of the games you play. double splashdown. Not necessarily the end of the world if we're getting picks with the main weapons. We really want to pick that up and move it. We have an opportunity here, and we're not using it. That could have been checkpoint already. But now we're going to have to fight more to be able to get there. And they're going to have specials ready. Well, it's just me. Thought you might be around here. Oh, hi. Alright, I figured I would only need 2 shots, because you usually expect your teammates at least going to hit 1. Do some damage. Okay, nice. Couple of cheeky points. Okay, they're removing it on the left side. And we've gone 2 down to something. So they're rotating it to the right check, which I might be able to snipe with this. Aw, if I had my 3rd shot, that guy was dead. We get him anyway. There's one more over here somewhere. Nice. Okay, just the T-Tech, and I know where they are. Okay, and they're over here, actually. Three's not bad, but it's definitely easy to lose. Okay, can someone stop that before? Yeah, well, we stopped it anyway. By going there, I isolated myself from the bow that was trying to stop me from splatting their teammate. So it was the more guaranteed set of shots to take, provided I didn't just get one shot by the bow on the one shot they had on me. Ooh, that's scary. Where did that bomb come from? Okay, you're still on the back wall. There's still someone over there, but I think they're rotating to the other side now. Healing up a little bit. Should have just kept firing for another shot. I knew that someone was going to drop on me. I screwed up on my movement falling into the cubby like that. I was trying to stay up in mid on the high ground where they couldn't approach me. Classic skill issue moment. I would really like to get this further out of here than it currently is. Unfortunately, now I'm going to give them an overtime by having picked up. But at least it's hard for them to get up and out of there in an expedient fashion, and we are going to be able to defend. Okay, we defended. I was gearing up for a long siege, and then they just got him. Romeo would say hi back, but he is snoozing. He is very, very curled at the moment. Hello, Crimson Crow. Hello, Epic Spidey. He is a cat. Cats are very snoozy. My power's like 1933 or something. Not very high. But I think I'm 2-1. Yeah, so we'll see how many points I gain, because I think that 1933 was my original placement, so it should still be pretty volatile. I might be able to get a pretty high point gain out of this if I win. And hi, Josh Silla. Yeah, cats sleep significantly more than humans do. It's a lighter sleep, but they do sleep a lot. Oh, they had dapples. Yeah, we shouldn't have challenged it in the first place. Should have just gone for specials and painted up. It's okay. They're not punishing very hard. They're not moving fast. I really should have backed up a lot sooner. I don't know what I was really thinking with that. It doesn't make a lot of sense on reflection. Okay. Ooh, hello. Okay, we're alive. Eh? No, probably would have hit. We'll just sprint this for some points. I've seen games won by fewer points than that. We do have a couple of specials. Now we have a pick. Thank you so much, teammate. What did we lose it to? Probably could have just waited for a second and not been marked, and then that would have worked a lot better. We're just going to go left, and we are going to stall. Or we could sprint for points. No, we're not going to be able to do that. We needed that guy dead a little bit sooner. I was expecting they were going to get, like, crossfired immediately. Oh boy. That's just unfortunate timing. Well, I'm dead to this. This is a moment where we either win or lose. We're still going to be able to push for further. We just all died. I'd rather not be the one picking it up here, because I have special ready. Oh no, you're not going to make it that way. You're getting watched by a ballpoint. Oh, that was such a waste of time, and now we're going to have to push again. Maybe I should have picked it up. Man. Oof. I mean, I did say that was the most important moment, but also there was a lot we could have done to give ourselves a better opportunity to get the knockout there. Going right when there's a player up is just not going to be safe. You either go there when they're wiped, or you're sprinting for points, or you just go left. GG Equilibrium. Well, Ticket's going to finish on this one way or the other. And then at that point, I'm going to have to go. Oh, we both have dapple doolies. Well, that complicates things. Looks like we are going for it, though. I'll trust. Nice. If we can get it out to the left, someone needs to go out in front of it. There was a lot that we needed to do to secure that. Ah, crap. I'm going to try and discourage them from going left. Okay, good. I thought I was in my own ink, and then I dropped down, and apparently I was like just a little bit of unpainted turf in between me and that. All right. Well, we'll call it there. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Thanks for all the new subs. Really appreciate the support. We're going to go and say hi to Lemo. They are playing some Salmon Run, as per usual. Here are all of my links, all of the different places that you can support the channel. I do Splatoon coaching content and teaching content full time. That's my job. Man, that is a lower power than I am used to having. Oh, hey, Romeo's awake. Here, there he is. Stretch. So, say hi to Lemo for me.